I am very proud to be here this afternoon and to present the facts and to honor those stalwarts who fought on our behalf. And it must never be forgotten that they fought for and on behalf of us. Because some of the privileges we now enjoy, if they did not riot on that day, we would not have been enjoying them. And we must also congratulate them because this riot started here in Little St. Kitts in 1935 and went all the way up to Guyana in South America. And so we opened the eyes of all the other workers and forced them to fight for their right. There was a man by the name of Mr. John Allen who was killed in the riots of 1935. But Mr. Allen was not a rioter. Mr. Allen lived with his his brother at Buckley's estate. And when he returned from work, he found that they had run out of sugar. And so he decided to go to the village to buy some sugar. On his way, just as he was about to pass the Democrat Printry, where Democrat Printry is now, his testicles were shot out and he was killed. Mr. Allen has a daughter by the name of Mrs. Warner, who lives at Valumat Village. Today's her birthday too? Okay, congratulations. Let us give her a round of applause. Now, the facts that I present here are Titus 2:8 facts, which cannot be condemned. We must know the truth, for only the truth will set us free. Today, the same Democrat building, which housed the Democrat Printry, which was the mouthpiece of the White Planters Democratic Party, is now the mouthpiece of the People's Action Movement. Those of us who are conscious of our blackness will conclude that only the pigmentation has changed. They are still anti-black, and if they were ever to regain power, and there was another Buckley's riot, they would not hesitate to shoot us down. I stand before you today dressed in my red shirt as a symbol of appreciation for the blood which was shed by those stalwarts. Red symbolizes courage. Red symbolizes struggle. Red symbolizes bravery. The stalwarts who were in the Buckley's riots were brave, for they were struggling for the better living and working conditions, and they had to be brave to do so. They were defying the powers of the day, the powers who had control of the courts, the police, the defense force, the jails, the land, the industry, the business places. With all the odds against them, they were prepared to challenge. We who are here this afternoon, and the others of us who are not here, showing our appreciation, have to acknowledge our gratitude to them. For it is through them that we are able to form and join trade unions and political parties today. We are able to vote. We are able to attend high schools free of charge. We are able to attend college and university. We are able to work for reasonable wages. We are able to enjoy social security benefits. We are able to worship and receive communion at some churches. We are now able to enjoy better health facilities, water in our homes, affordable houses. We must raise our black consciousness to the point where we can readily identify the enemies of the masses. We should never forget those who shot down our stalwarts of 1935. We must never forget our local Nelson Mandelas who fought for the rights of the black masses of the country. We must never forget those who sent their children abroad when the New Education Act was passed in 1966. They, although we were emancipated in 1838, still looked upon us as unequals, not worthy to sit in classes beside their children. Let us not forget those who prefer to see hordes of senior citizens begging on the streets of Bastille in preference to see them receive their monthly pensions from Social Security. If they believed that we are human, why did they criticize the move? Let us not forget those who did not want to see us enjoying workmen's compensation, holiday with pay, maternity leave with pay. Let us not forget those who, with the white planters, as they shot out the testicles or balls of Mr. John Allen, rendering him manless and lifeless, and did not bat an eye. He was the secretary of the White Planters Sugar Producers Association. Ambitious as he was, he had to reach such lofty heights by selling his black soul. Every vestige of his black consciousness went down the drain, and he was not able to identify with those who were rioting against his white bosses in order to achieve better working and living conditions. Here is a story of Willie Lynch. Some people refer to it as the Willie Lynch philosophy. But those of us who are black conscious would know that what Mr. Willie Lynch was doing was to divide and rule us. And the topic or the heading of Mr. Willie Lynch's lecture to his fellow white planters and estate owners in Virginia, in America, in 1912, it is headlined, "And the Message is Still True." Here is Willie Lynch. Gentlemen, I greet you on the bank of the James River in the year of our Lord 1712. First, I shall thank you, the gentlemen of the colony of Virginia, for bringing me here. I am here to help you solve some of your problems with slaves. Your invitation reached me on my modest plantation in the West Indies, where I have experimented with some of the newest and still the oldest methods for control of slaves. Ancient Rome would envy us if my program is implemented. As our boat sails south of the James River, named for our illustrious king, whose version of the Bible we cherish, I saw enough to know that your problem is not unique. While Rome used cords of wood as crosses for standing human bodies along its old highways in great numbers, you are here using the tree and the rope on occasion. I caught the whiff of a dead slave hanging from a tree a couple of miles back. You're not only losing valuable stock by hanging, you are having uprisings. Slaves are running away. Your crops are left in the fields too long for maximum profit. You suffer occasional fires. Your animals are killed. Gentlemen, you know what your problems are. I do not need to elaborate. I am not here to enumerate your problems. I'm here to introduce to you a method of solving them. In my bag here, I have a foolproof method for controlling your black slaves. I guarantee every one of you that if installed correctly, it will control the slaves for at least 300 years. My method is simple. Any member of your family or your overseer can use it. I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves, and I take these differences and I make them bigger. I use fear, distrust, and envy for control purposes. These methods have worked on my modest plantation in the West Indies, and it will work throughout the South. Take this simple list of differences and think about them. On top of my list is age, but it is there only because it starts with an A. The second is color or shade. They're in intelligence, size, sex, size of plantations, status on plantations, attitude of owners, whether the slaves live in the valley, on a hill, east, west, north, or south. Have fine hair, coarse hair, or is tall or short. Now that you have a list of differences, I shall give you an outline of action. But before that, I shall assure you that distrust is stronger than trust, and envy is stronger than adulation, respect, or admiration. The black slave, after receiving this indoctrination, shall carry on and will become self-refueling and self-generating for hundreds of years, maybe thousands. Don't forget, you must pitch the old black male versus the young black male, and the young black male against the old black male. You must use the dark-skinned slaves versus the light-skinned slaves, and the light-skinned slaves versus the dark-skinned slaves. You must use the female versus the male, and the male versus the female. You must also have your white servants and overseers distrust all blacks. But it is necessary that your slaves trust and depend on us. They must love, respect, and trust us only. Gentlemen, these kids are your key to control. Use your wives and children, have your wives and children, use them. Never miss an opportunity. If used intensely for 1 year, the slaves themselves will remain perpetually distrustful. Thank you, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, do we have any slave which has been indoctrinated by Willie Lynch here today? Thank you very much.